So often I get a question, Mark, how would you price cleanup work? And so in this video, I'm going to share with you some thoughts on and give you four different approaches to pricing that cleanup work. Before I dive into those four different ways, let's just quick recap. Why is cleanup work so hard? When a client comes to you and their books and records are a mess and they want you to fix them, to sort them out, to clean them up, what makes cleanup work so hard is the huge amount of uncertainty. We have no idea how much work's involved. We don't know how much of a mess the books and records are. And often when we ask clients questions, they don't actually know. When we say, for example, when did you last reconcile your bank account? They might go, oh, probably a few weeks ago. And then you may find the reality is it hasn't been reconciled for 6 years. So clients don't know, and we don't know the answers until we have to start doing the work. So cleanup work is challenging. So how do we price that? Well, there are really four approaches I think that you could take. And the first one, the one that many accountants and bookkeepers would do is just charge an hourly rate. And I think that's a poor way of pricing. I know that it's a cop-out. It means that we don't want to attempt to value price. We don't want to give the client a price up front. We're too scared of getting it wrong, so we'll go with an hourly rate. Now, there are so many problems with hourly rates. Customers hate hourly rates because they don't know what the price will be until the job's finished. And also, when you quote an hourly rate, it will always seem to the client more expensive. But nevertheless, that is an option. We could continue to price based on the hour. Now, if you do decide to do that, please make sure that your hourly rate for cleanup work is higher than bookkeeping work. Why? Because cleanup work is more skilled. Cleanup work means fixing problems, and sometimes we have to diagnose those problems. It's more difficult than bookkeeping work. It's a higher value service, should be charged at a higher price. Now, another way of pricing your cleanup work is if you have a system for pricing monthly bookkeeping, what some people do is they use that system for giving a fixed price for bookkeeping, and they use that as the basis for cleanup work. So, for example, let's say that this particular client, you might charge them $200 a month for bookkeeping work. And if you're going to do cleanup work for them and they were 3 months behind, 3 times 200 would be $600 for the cleanup project. And that's one approach that you could do. Again, I don't recommend it, but if you decide to price cleanup based on a multiple of the number of months outstanding using your bookkeeping pricing approach, then again, make sure that there's an uplift to recognize the fact that cleanup work is more valuable and a higher degree of expertise required. Number 3, and a better approach to pricing cleanup work is to give the clients some choices, to start to think about how it can add more value, give the client some different options so that the client can get a fixed price up front and they can choose the package, the option that's best suited for them. Because what you'll tend to find is that when you give the client a choice of 3 different options, very often people choose the middle one. It feels the safest one. And so if your entry level, your starting point, your bronze, if you like, is the sort of price you might have charged before, and they choose something where you've built in some more value, then they choose something that which they see the value in, and you get a higher price. Now, an even better way of pricing, and this is number 4, is we want to involve the client in the pricing process. We want to start to move towards value pricing. Of course, the challenge with cleanup work is how do we know how much value the client places on their problem being solved? And the way we do that is by involving them in the conversation. We have to have the pricing with them. We have to ask questions. We have to uncover the pain they're going through, the problems, the challenges. What's the reason they're coming to you now? Why do they need the cleanup work done now? It may be because they've got the tax authorities breathing down their neck because they've not filed their reports, their taxes, and therefore there's a greater sense of need, a greater sense of urgency, and therefore we should charge a higher price. And so when we involve them in the pricing process, we might ask them questions like that. We might say to them, okay, it sounds like you want our fast track service. This seems to be urgent. Is that right? Do you want us to do this quickly? And if they say, yes, we need this done quickly, then you have a system for having a higher price for a speedy, quick cleanup versus a slower version. And so you present your price based upon the client's preferences and choices, what creates value to them. If the price is too high, you can go back through your system and say, okay, if the price is too high, the reason it's that price is because you want this done really, really fast. If you want, I can just quickly show you what the price would be if we do it slower. And then they can choose. They can then choose based on their perception, their assessment of the value of those things. If they really need something done fast because the taxman's breathing down their neck, then they will pay that higher price. So there's some thoughts on how you can price cleanup work. If you want more help, I'll put some links below this video. If you enjoyed the video, please give it the thumbs up, and also please subscribe to the channel. Bye for now.